The KXAN News Podcast is sponsored by Shelf Genie.
The first severe thunderstorm of the day popping up in the northern hill country. Tonight's rain timeline and snow that may follow in first warning weather.
Street takeovers across Austin and now leading to more arrests. How many people have ended up behind bars?
And dozens rally outside the Texas state capitol, their message to lawmakers as they consider changing the way transgender children in Texas get treatment.
But first, a cool, drizzly day here in Austin, now warm and muggy as a late season cold snap gets ready to blow into central Texas, right on the heels of thunderstorms expected late tonight.
All right, a lot of changes in store. Let's take a look at our chances of severe weather, David, tonight.
We've already had a confirmed tornado up in Fort Worth, and that's where the worst of it should stay. But we do have some action popping in our area now. Let me take you out to the radar where it's quiet in Austin, and it should remain that way for at least a few hours. Up in the northern hill country, though, not the case. North of Lampasas, even just north of Adamsville, this is the northern extent of our hill country viewing area. Severe thunderstorm warning for a quickly intensifying storm just issued after our last update, in effect until 5:45. We are querying the hail size, which is one of the main concerns with this. Golf ball size hail northwest of Adamsville. It's close to Moline. If you're picking up our signal in that area, you will want to stay indoors until this storm passes. We've queried the 45-mile-per-hour forward speed through the rest of our viewing area. No real towns in its path, but I know we've got some farms and some rural land. If you are in the path of this up near Highway 84, you'll want to move your car under shelter and stay indoors yourself. We are watching for the potential of strong wind gusts, maybe a little rotation with this. A tornado watch is in effect just for Lampasas County, so this does have the potential of a tornado warning. We will let you know just as soon as one is issued, if that happens. The rest of us also in this 2 out of 5 severe weather threat. We'll time out what happens tonight and update you on the expectation now of snow in parts of the area this weekend. Next.
All right, David, thanks so much. Rodeo Austin is ready for the rain. The wind and drizzle didn't keep people away today. The event CEO says everyone on the team is in constant communication about those conditions. They did practice some of their contingency plans this morning for all different parts of the grounds.
So there's different rides that they either lower, they don't have to completely dismantle them, but they have processes in place where they may lower some rides. And then we're prepared to secure any type of tents and trash cans and those kinds of things that we need to do.
And as we know, it's not just about the people at the rodeo. The petting zoo team also has to plan, and they do have a plan now to keep the animals safe and dry when that storm rolls in.
Right, well, 17 more people have been charged related to those reckless street takeovers in Austin last month. Police say 6 of those suspects are still on the run.
And law enforcement provided an update on the case this afternoon. KXAN's Brianna Hollis joins us with how police tracked down those suspects. Bree.
So guys, they've called this extended investigation Operation Burnout. It involves police departments and sheriff's offices from across the state, as well as the Department of Public Safety. A hefty law enforcement effort for a hefty string of crimes. Check it out. APD says there were 7 takeovers in total, all marked here on this map, starting at 6 p.m. Saturday, February 18th, ending 2 a.m. that Sunday. The most southern location down here near 290, the most northern location off of I-35 near Howard Lane. Now let's take you back to that chaotic night. Hundreds of cars blocked off busy intersections like Barton Springs and South Lamar seen here. Video shows cars screeching through those intersections, doing donuts, people driving recklessly and throwing fireworks at other vehicles, including police cars in some cases. This also caused serious traffic backups across town. And with today's arrest announcement, that now makes 24 total people charged in these events. APD Chief Joseph Chacon says they range from 15 to 32 years old. You can see them right here. And these individuals, he says, are the primary organizers of the takeovers.
If you're involved in a street takeover, we're certainly going after you. We're going after your vehicle. You'll either be arrested, prosecuted, your vehicle seized, and we're also going after your driver's license as well.
Folks who may want to do this again, you can expect this is going to be the result, and we highly discourage it.
Now, this investigation isn't over. Chief Chacon expects more arrests. We did ask for a ballpark of how many more. Police couldn't provide that number just yet. Now, this intensive, coordinated police effort happened during a time where APD is critically struggling with staffing levels. We asked Chief Chacon how exactly the department managed to prioritize this. His answer tonight at 6. Jen.
All right, Bree, thanks so much. Today, for the first time at the state capitol, lawmakers took up bills affecting transgender Texans.
Our Capitol correspondent Monica Madden looks at the debate around one specific bill which would prohibit gender transitioning health care for children.
Side by side, LGBTQ advocates stand together to push back against bills they say will harm their community, specifically trans kids.
Let parents like me, the experts in our children, do our job.
Lindsay Foster has a transgender daughter.
She is thriving, joyful, hilarious, and sharp as a tack.
Foster fears Senate Bill 14 would prevent her daughter from getting necessary health care.
She will be impacted. She will be harmed. Her normal childhood will evaporate.
The bill would prohibit children from getting procedures or treatments used for gender transitioning, like puberty-inhibiting drugs, hormone therapy, and surgical interventions.
SB 14 is all about child protection.
The bill's author, Senator Donna Campbell, says as a physician, she worries about families and doctors making a life-altering decision for a child too early.
Our children need counseling and love, not blades and drugs.
Like Prisha Mosley, who is now transitioning back to her sex assigned at birth.
I was told that changing my gender would cure me. As an impressionable and mentally ill child, I fully believed this.
Testimony from both sides that will shape how lawmakers proceed on a sensitive topic. Monica Madden, KXAN News.
And at least 8 state laws have been passed that ban gender-affirming care for children. Dozens of other states are considering similar legislation.
And going in depth right now, last year, Governor Greg Abbott directed the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services to launch child abuse investigations for families with children getting gender-affirming care. And then 6 months after that move happened, KXAN reported fewer than a dozen investigations had been launched. And at that point, no children had been removed from their families. A source close to TikTok confirms that the Biden administration has demanded TikTok's Chinese owners sell their stakes in the app or face a possible ban in the U.S.
This marks a dramatic shift in the Biden administration's policy toward the hugely popular app, which has 100 million users in the U.S. The issue here is growing fears that China could use the app to access Americans' data, particularly because of a national security law in China that requires companies to turn over customer data if requested to government officials. TikTok's CEO is scheduled to testify on Capitol Hill next week.
Austin's beloved bats could get an extra pair of eyes on them. City officials could soon hire an expert to oversee the animals. The Austin Animal Advisory Commission is recommending council approve hiring a full-time bat biologist. Now, the expert would study the local population as well as help with preservation efforts. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department estimates 1.5 million bats call Austin home. So we have more on this position as well as the best times to see the bats this spring on KXAN.com.
The Austin murder trial that has the district attorney bringing in some outside help.
And the biggest week for college basketball fans has finally arrived. KXAN is live as the Texas Longhorns get ready to hit the court when we come back. The Travis County District Attorney is bringing in some outside help for an upcoming murder case against an Austin police officer. Christopher Taylor shot and killed Mike Ramos in April of 2020. Now, this happened in a parking lot of a South Austin apartment complex. Officer Taylor is facing murder charges for Ramos's murder. Former prosecutor Gary Cobb is coming out of retirement to help with the trial. The current district attorney requested it, and the trial is scheduled to start May 27th. In a statement, the district attorney's office said it is grateful to have Cobb and, quote, his skills and experience will be a great value to our community. According to his LinkedIn page, Cobb served as a former assistant district attorney at the Travis County District Attorney's Office, and that was from 1990 to 2016.
Well, an investigation is underway at Fort Hood following the death of a soldier. Army officials identified that soldier as 21-year-old Private Ana Basaldua Ruiz, a combat engineer in the 1st Cavalry Division who had served with the division for the past 15 months. Now, the Army Criminal Investigation Division and the Post Chain of Command are actively investigating the circumstances around her death, but they confirmed this afternoon that there is no evidence of foul play.
Well, an update for our friends in Lampasas County under the severe thunderstorm warning. This is not coming toward Austin, by the way, at all. The worst of that storm now exiting Lampasas County, heading out of the viewing area toward Pearl. With it, the area of potentially damaging winds and also of potential rotation now out of Lampasas County. The hail core in that area also shrinking and moving away. But the line is trying to build down into Llano County. We've got your forecast after this.
This KXAN News podcast is brought to you by Shelf Genie. I'm Rosie Newberry from KXAN Studio 512. Considering replacing your kitchen cabinets? Struggling to find or reach things? Go to shelfgenie.com/Austin. Shelf Genie designs custom pull-out shelves for your existing cabinets, adding convenience and value to the most used room in your home. Shelf Genie custom pull-out shelves, everything in reach.
Well, it's a good week to be a college basketball fan. March Madness has finally arrived.
And the Texas Longhorns are getting ready to hit the court in Iowa on the road with the team. KXAN's Jonathan Thomas. Jonathan, still bundled up there. How's it looking?
Well, it's looking pretty snowy outside, but inside the action's heating up. Arkansas and Illinois doing battle right now as I speak. Now, Texas, they're facing a program that is making their third straight NCAA appearance. Talking about Colgate, please save your toothpaste jokes because the Raiders are not one. Colgate is entering this game on a 9-game winning streak, and they won the Patriot League title, and they're hoping to give the Longhorns all they can handle tonight. The Raiders gave Wisconsin a tough game in last year's first-round matchup, only falling by 7. Now, even though the basketball world thinks this will be an easy victory for Texas, and it might be, the Longhorns themselves are avoiding cockiness and anticipating a battle.
I mean, they're the best shooting team in the country, so it's hard for me to say, there's anybody else like them. But in terms of preparation, I think our staff has been doing a great job of letting us know what kind of team they are. We've been watching a lot of film, and like I said, we respect them.
They're a really, really good ball club. So, do we get everybody's best game at Texas? Man, I don't think we're sneaking up on anybody at Texas. I think everybody's ready to play us. I think our guys understand when they signed up to play at Texas that they're gonna get everybody's best game.
Now, even though it's a neutral site game, people love the underdog, and the crowd can certainly turn it into a road game if that underdog gets going. Nonetheless, Texas will take on Colgate at 6:25 coming up tonight for their NCAA tournament first-round matchup. We'll have post-game reaction coming up for you tonight at 10 and, of course, on KXAN.com. From Des Moines, I'm Jonathan Thomas. Let's go back over to you.
All right, Jonathan, thanks so much. We'll see you in a few hours.
First warning weather with Chief Meteorologist David Yeomans.
Well, tornado watch is in effect for the potential of tornadic storms only in Lampasas County, well northwest of Austin, until 8 p.m. We did have that brief flare-up severe thunderstorm. That has now moved out of Lampasas County. The line is trying to backbuild into Llano and Mason counties, but so far not having much success in doing so, and no rain on the radar elsewhere. Boy, it's 81 all of a sudden in Austin. The heat and humidity are building ahead of an enormous spring cold front. 81 in Abilene. An hour away is 45 degrees in Lubbock and 34 up the road in Amarillo. You can see this spinning storm here in the Panhandle with some snow right underneath it. The line of storms, which is trying to build into our area, is certainly going to stay at its worst up in the DFW Metroplex. Earlier, we had a confirmed tornado in Fort Worth and 2.5-inch hail. That's about tennis ball size hail in the Mineral Wells area. Back here at home, we're watching for the potential of an isolated storm in the hill country for the next couple of hours. This computer model doesn't do a whole lot with it, but later in the evening, as the cold front itself moves in, this is our main storm threat, and even that will not be as bad as it's been up the road a few hours. Here we are at 10 p.m. with the cold front possibly sparking a couple storms along it. This latest high-resolution forecast, which is new at 5 p.m., is even a little less scary, if you will, with the threat of damaging storms. Nevertheless, we'll be watching all this line here for the potential of gusty winds and some possible hail. Here it goes through our southeastern counties by midnight and clear of our area by 1 a.m. Behind it, after 1 a.m., there's really no more severe weather threat, but doesn't mean we're done with this. We've got some rain, even some thunder continuing overnight as temperatures drop. Tomorrow morning, we wake up still with some light, cold rain falling and gusty winds blowing. Precipitation exits the area, at least temporarily, by midday tomorrow. Rain amounts remain lightest where we need it most, out in the hill country from Austin eastward. We are a little more optimistic, but still not what we need. About 1/4 to a 1/2 inch looking most likely. Then after the rain and storm potential, the threat becomes, or the story becomes, wind and cold weather. From 9 p.m. tonight through noon tomorrow, we've got northerly winds prompting a wind advisory, wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour. Here's the temperature drop that comes along with that gusty wind. By 10:30 p.m., it's still in the 70s in Austin, but 50s quickly behind this front. Temperature drops 20 degrees in about an hour when this front moves through. There goes the cold air southeast of even Weimar by about 1 a.m. Yes, snowflakes in the forecast after this. Not happening tonight or tomorrow morning, but as the cold air settles in late tomorrow night and a separate disturbance approaches, things are looking even more interesting now. A little bit of light rain starts to develop by early Saturday morning. And as you see here, that rain falling through dry air underneath the clouds goes through what we call evaporative cooling. That can actually drop the temperature 5 or 10 degrees and possibly transition the light rain to snow. Now, some computer models keep this southwest of us entirely, out near Kerrville, Bandera, but a lot of them suggest that the southern hill country, talking to you, Gillespie and Blanco counties, early Saturday morning, you could see at least a couple of hours of a wet snow falling, while the rest of us, including the Austin Metro, just see cold, light rain. This you might have to wake up early for with the kids out in the hill country. Should be all light sprinkles of liquid rain by midday Saturday. Snowfall, this model is a little bit heavy-handed, I might say, but out in the southern hill country, it is quite possible that we get some grassy surface accumulation. I'm talking about your front yard getting a dusting or maybe even an inch or two, your patio steps, but the roadways in the hill country will be fine. Air temperatures and ground temperatures will just be too warm for any actual hazards on the roads. So tonight, thunderstorms likely. A wind advisory goes into effect. Temperatures plummet down to 41. Tomorrow, no warmer than the 50s with cold, gusty winds and morning rain exiting. Again, the precipitation on Saturday, maybe some snow early in the hill country, but all liquid rain for the rest of us. Temperatures 20 degrees colder than normal all the way through the first day of spring on Monday. After that, sunshine and gusty south winds bring warm weather back quickly next week.
A day at the zoo gone wrong, the accident at the San Antonio Zoo that sent several people to the hospital. Several children are recovering today after a scary moment at the San Antonio Zoo.
As Blaine Alexander tells us, a tree fell onto visitors.
It took just a matter of moments for a sunny day at the San Antonio Zoo to turn into terror.
I can't believe we saw that. There's people in there.
Officials say just after noon on Wednesday, a massive tree branch unexpectedly broke and fell, sending 7 people to the hospital, 5 of them children, with 1 in critical condition. Among the victims, the Rodriguez family, according to a GoFundMe posted by a friend who wrote, "They are all banged up and bruised, but little Jordan is the worst. We need to pray for Jordan."
You hear people screaming.
Zoo officials say they are investigating the cause of the breakage to prevent this unusual event from happening again. You can hear the frantic moments as authorities rush to the scene.
Anybody still outside of the zoo, please start moving those vehicles out of the way so fire can make their way up there quicker.
Chris Ryan was visiting the zoo with his wife and 2 young daughters. He says his family was within feet of the tree.
I went in to help and joined a group of people that were assisting this lady get up and get from underneath the branch and get on her feet. As we were doing that, she was yelling about her baby.
How chaotic was this moment?
It was, it was very chaotic. There were a lot of people in pain.
The aftermath shows the massive cleanup effort as multiple employees worked to clear the tree. This morning, officials say the zoo will operate as normal, as Chris and countless others are now left to process a spring break trip gone terribly wrong.
It's just kind of the disbelief of how a big tree could cause so much damage so quickly.
Dozens of musicians came together at South by Southwest today, but not to play music. They rallied against low and unfair pay for performing at the festival. Now, the Union of Musicians and Allied Workers launched a campaign asking festival producers to increase pay for a South by performance to at least $750. Since last month, 2,500 artists signed the union's letter of demands.
Well, coming up tonight on KXAN, it's Law & Order at 7, Law & Order SVU at 8, and then Law & Order Organized Crime at 9, before we're back with KXAN News at 10.
And of course, you can join us an hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 o'clock on the CW Austin. Here's where to find us.
Thanks for listening to KXAN News Nightly. You can also listen to KXAN News Today every morning for more in-depth coverage of what matters most to you.